All right, cool. Thanks everybody for coming through. And I appreciate you guys so much for taking the time, the extra time as everybody arrived. My name is Warren, co-founder, EVI Initiative.
And I'm Aaron.
Okay, so let's give you, since we've been chatting about it, you guys basically get what we're doing here. So California, I can even really, like say California, we're basically building an electric gas station here in California. You will own the land and the opportunity with us. We'll start with this. It'll loop again. So, lower the volume one place. Yeah. This is going to be this is 15555 Mission Hills, San Fernando Mission Boulevard, Mission Hills. 15555 San Fernando Mission Boulevard in Mission Hills.
It's only 20 minutes from here, so if you guys have some time, you guys can always feel free to stop by the site. Let's dive into this. I want to be mindful of everyone's time, so let's start with the introduction on how we started the company and where we are today. So my name is Aaron. I started EVI Initiative back in 2018. Basically, at that time, my main focus was just selling EV chargers to properties directly. So what I did is I found a hardware supplier, started door knocking, making phone calls, and was able to actually sell, I think it was around 12 level 2 chargers to a property. Found the contractor, we did the install. So I made money by selling the hardware and completing the install for the property. That was my very first deal back in 2018. So very new to me, the whole industry. I then realized that the software component for EVI Charging Network is a very important factor. Today, we have all that software IP. We built it out in-house with our software development team. At the time, I didn't have that, so what I had to do was look for a third-party company who could essentially enable my network to take payments, collect all the data analytics, and allow me to run my network successfully. So this is back in Toronto. I was looking for a local software provider, made some calls, and then this is actually how I first met Warren. He was working for that particular EV charging software company at the time. He helped me get my first stations online. He taught me a lot about the technology side of EV chargers, the software, all the different hardware, et cetera. And then we joined forces, and I'll let Warren introduce himself.
Yeah, so I met Aaron back in the day, and he was actually building out the network physically as a charge port operator under the EVI Initiative brand, and he did not have the software needed to make it work, basically. So he found the land, deployed the plugs, but now you need to take payments. How are you going to get the money? So that's where we connected. I configured the first stations myself, and since then, fast forward, through a lot of growth and knowledge gained, experience gained, we went to develop our own IP. We built it all out ourselves. There's a foundational element in our long-term plan and vision. And the first thing we did was build out that IP. We built the charging management software. If you want to get a little techie, it's Open Charge Point Protocol 1.6J ready. We can also have the code ready for 2.01, ready for when so we're ready for the future. We built the point of sale, and a lot of thoughts gone into it. I listened to people, we learn, we give the people what they want. So if the driver is saying, hey, I just want to charge my car, I don't really care about your app, great, make it super easy for them to start to charge and get what they want. Someone says, I really love this thing, can I get a discount? I use it every day. Okay, let's give them some points, let's give them a wallet, a loyalty something, and we can build that out. They can save their favorite stations, it's really easy to use, right? So we built all the IP out. If you're doing business with us, because we've been through it, so we understand it's not easy to get a land agreement with a site host or to sell them if you don't have the land yourself. And we can reward people by connecting it all through the banks, because now you're going to work with us, it's connected to our system, and you can get a passive income flow. So we built the IP basically together, and we've gone through all the different business models. We'll touch on that as we go through this. But the reason why we're doing all this and the reason why we selected California, if you saw the map
Hello,
earlier,
Aaron speaking.
so we've been doing this for some time now. Our map has grown from Northern Ontario,
Yeah, I see
Canada,
you outside. I'll come
we're
with you
from
in 1
Toronto.
minute.
We have a bunch of plugs out here in Toronto and more coming. We've gotten to the eastern United States, so Virginia, Georgia. We also have sites out here in California. And there's a reason why we talk to a lot of people, a lot of landowners too. A lot of requests, come to Dallas, come to Houston, come to Miami.
Hey,
the EV chart is popping, is booming, but I understand more and I don't want to take a risk on my investment, especially if I'm doing it this way. So because we understand a lot in terms of what the state is doing,
so
no matter who's the president, doesn't really matter. The state gets to decide.
We're just over
what's
here in the
happening.
room.
And,
We're walking through
California's
everything,
made some mandates.
we
Clean
can
air
bring
and a
up
whole bunch of
speed
other
if
reasons.
we missed anything.
2035, that's only 11 years from now. Something about my daughter. So when she's old enough to drive a car, I got to get her a car. It's going to be an electric car. In Canada too, they also did the same thing. And a bunch of other states like Oregon. And so yes, but here in California, we have that on our side. Thank you so much. Hi. Good timing. Hi, my name is Warren. Okay. Yeah, so we selected California for this opportunity. As you guys get to own this opportunity with us, and you guys, some of you already own this opportunity. So we've selected California because of the mandates by the state, 2035, all new vehicles must be 100% battery electric vehicle. It's the future. It's not just them. Plus, from before the decision was made, EV adoption has already been rising. People like these new cars. It's not just the fact that they're clean, it's that they're cool. They're different they drive differently. So that's what I was asking also. Did you drive an electric car on your way here?
No, but I have one.
There we go.
And can we ask, are you guys driving EV for the environment or just for the technology and performance? Or both? Both?
Yeah, I just like them because they're cool. And they're like cell phones and new stuff comes out all the time. And but overall, the buyers, the people who purchase these vehicles and drive them, the trend is, hey, I'm a smooth brain. This where we're going to the moon over here. So that's good for what we're doing. This is why I'm doing this business in this market, because I recognize where we're going. And we're doing it to earn a lot of revenue over time. But I have a YouTube video. If you guys go with YouTube and check out EV Initiative, search EV Initiative. There's a whole short document, 6 minutes, on the S-curve adoption of technology. We're witnessing a transformation. It's a phase change. So back in the 1900s, people rode horses on the way to get here. You want to come visit us? Come get on the horse. And they used to say, why would you get a gas car? Are you stupid? You give the horse some water, give the grass, you got the grass, are you dumb? But then people kept on building the infrastructure, and next thing you know, it took 20 years. There's no more horses. Ooh, that's pretty quick. Okay, so that's all right. So that's S-curve. We've also seen it with, let's say, cell phones. We all have cell phones. Back in the day, it took a while. Now we all have one. AI is, a lot of people are using AI now. That's a really quick adoption. And plus, AI has already been in use in your airplane. Autopilot, right? So, but yeah, now it's coming to everybody. And EVs are also, it's going to be really, really, really quick. It's not just, that's how S-curve adoption works. It's also the vehicle manufacturers themselves. So the state has their plans, and Jaguar also has their plans. It's come next year, they're only making electric vehicles moving forward. Isn't that great? So not just them, Ford, Volkswagen, BMW, all of the OEMs by 2030, 2035, 2040, I believe Honda's the last one. That's all they're making moving forward in the future. So the iPad kids I was talking about earlier, who's just glitching out on that, watching iPad all day, that kid's gonna be driving an electric car. That is their future, that is what's happening, right? So, and that just is what it is. So what we're doing today is we have a need, because today in California, there's such a high adoption of EV drivers. There's lineups at the Electrify America stations. There's 6 plugs, 7 plugs, 12 plugs. Everybody line up. How long did you have to wait for a charge?
I waited up to 20 minutes sometimes.
Oh, okay. I'm saying, so there's a need. So let's give the people what they need so they can get up and get out of there. So EV Initiative, we're a charge port operator. A charge port operator are the entities that develop, build, maintain EV charging networks. Everybody knows Tesla. They're the biggest one. Great case study, we'll bring it up later. You guys, ChargePoint's another one, EVgo. They have other independents like the ones we talking about in Bakersfield. Is it Bakerfield? Out there. Baker, right? Out there in the desert, right? So they have, and then you have us. So we've been growing our network from Ontario and coming down to the East Coast and of course, California. And so we've gone through selling hardware to third-party landowners. That's one of the main business of EV. I will sell you EV chargers for your multifamily building or your office building. Most likely it'll be AC chargers, so while you're at work all day or you go home at night, car plugs in a multifamily building, it's a lot of variabilities. Like I grew up in apartments and condos, so, and one of my scenarios is I rented, came with a parking spot, I rented it out to him, and then he paid me $175 every month for parking, but if there's a charger there, and then he was plugged in, it was sub-meter to my unit, then I'd be also chasing him for, hey, last month, you know, you also owe me $60 for electricity. Hey, last month so that doesn't work. So you need a service provider in those scenarios. So that's one of the main businesses of EV charging, selling hardware to these properties, multifamily buildings, public fleets, and providing the operation. Another business and model that we've also performed and have gone through is working with a third-party landowner and then deploying our plugs that we own and operate. We make the investment on their land and we own those units. And we keep them online, I'm always watching, make sure they work, and we get the revenue. And maybe we share some of the percentage of the usage with the site host so they can pay the electricity. So they get the amenity, they can pay their bills, everybody wins. And then we also now have, now we transformed, we've grown, and now we've gone past that model. It's not always the most profitable for us. We want to be very selective with our investments. We want to make sure that they're going to get used. High utilization is very important for what we're doing. That's how EV chargers make money, basically. The more they use, the more you make. AC plugs, which is overnight, these long-term overnight, it's like you charge them like $2.50. Not a lot of money to charge overnight. It's an amenity. But for DC charging, you're charging them a lot more. You're doing about a kilowatt. There's a pretty good margin, which we'll go over, and providing a very fast charge. So 20 minutes, 10 minutes. Sometimes the stations you're deploying, you might spend more time at them because you might find yourself at a lower power charger. We want to deploy cool stuff, hyper fast, newest, greatest, because I want people to be in and out. I'm thinking about this highway, this flow of traffic. Off the highway, come, boom, in, out, boom, leave. Next.
Now, with that being said, you have also covered overloading.
Oh, we'll talk about the microgrid and how all that works too. But yeah, so we've gone through, now we're a developer though, and now we have to consider all these things as we deploy high power projects in Los Angeles. So now we develop, deliver projects, the EV initiative infrastructure. What we do is we develop infrastructure projects that live on the EV initiative network, our charging network. Quick one.
So you're just gonna have CCS chargers and charging?
No.
No level one?
Level one?
What's the level one slow charger?
Level
Yeah,
one's like
level
what?
two, yeah.
There would be no level two, super fast, only fast, and not CCS. You're also gonna have NACS, the Tesla plug. Everybody gets served. I want everybody's money. Everybody comes in, you get in, what kind of car you have?
CCS and LAX.
And NACS,
NACS.
North American Charging Standard.
No charging.
No CHAdeMO. CHAdeMO ga owari. Gome.
Yeah, CHAdeMO is getting phased out, right? So
It's
it looks
done.
like the standard is going to be the Tesla NACS. Like Hyundai, Honda, they're all adopting the Tesla connector. So it's mainly, yeah, like Warren said, NACS and CCS.
That's the future. CHAdeMO's, that's like beta. It's like, we don't even use compact disc anymore. If I show a CD to my daughter, she doesn't even know what to do with the case, kind of thing. So that's the Nissans are being phased out, and yeah, I saw someone around.
They have a 100-mile range of them.
They're weak, yeah, the batteries are small. No one's really, now their batteries being recycled and they're being repurposed. But yeah, we don't have to worry about that. I'm thinking about the Lyric. I'm thinking about the new Audi that can convert from like a truck to a coupe. Like I want that, like, so that's what I'm thinking about, not the Nissan from like 12 years ago. So anyways, CHAdeMO, so NACS and CCS. Everybody gets served. Yeah, NACS, CCS, Tesla plugs, everybody else. So yeah, and now we develop infrastructure projects which will live on our network. And the way we're doing this is very different. One of our EV initiatives is to make our shareholders rich, not the banks. We've purchased 3 plots of land already. 1 out of 3 is available for you to get involved in, and you're already involved in it. So yeah, let's go, right? So this is different. You can buy into Tesla EVgo. Tesla has a very big battery division. They also have the charging division. They have their automotive division, right? And they have their software division. But you cannot buy in and own one of the high revenue generating assets, the land, with them. You can't do. This is the first time. So we could get a construction loan, finish the construction our own, along with the other properties. We made a decision to say, okay, banks, we can work with people and we can pay you guys back a dividend twice a year instead of paying back the interest or the mortgage or whatever we need to do, like other people who see us and copy us. We're not going down that route. So we're a little bit smart because again, value creation.
So no bank, everything is invested funds to produce the stations?
People power. Yeah, you believe in this, you buy into this, you get you benefit.
Also, it's scalability, right?
Yeah.
So we are funding these sites ourselves. Like Warren mentioned, we had 2 other locations. Those we're all doing with our own money. Mission's the first time we're opening it up for investment. And then moving forward, it'll probably be, we want it to be mainly investor backed, but of course we'll use a bank loan if need be just to get the site online. Our goal is to work with an initial group of investors, right? So right now you guys are getting ads, right? We're mass marketing this opportunity, but what we're looking for is a long-term partnership. So you guys get involved in this opportunity, we get to know each other, and then all future opportunities, the original investor group has first right of refusal to get involved. So it's not always going to be a mass marketed thing. It is today, as Warren mentioned, we're transitioning from the site host model where we don't own the land into land ownership now, right? And that's really the goal too, because we looked at deploying fast chargers on land we don't own. And the one thing that just doesn't sit right is investing like $1 million, $2 million and putting in high power DC chargers onto someone else's land. We sign an agreement for 5 or 10 years. It's very hard to get them to agree to like a 20 or 30 year land agreement. So even if you'll make your money back during that time, let's say that 10-year term ends and now they want you gone, right? It's a bit of a nightmare. So land ownership is for fast chargers is definitely we want to go, if that makes sense.
Yeah, can you get the door? Okay, thanks. All right.
Yeah, I take it you're interested in maybe going, okay, yeah. And we've done that, right? So I know Warren touched on it, was white labeling. So we have the technology, the back office, all the hardware distributors we have partnerships with. So it's very simple. If you want to build a brand and go door knock and do your own sales, we do that till this day. We support, I think, close to around 20 other white label CPOs who use our technology. Yeah.
So we develop, deliver projects, and this is different. So we could have worked with the banks, gone to construction loan, complete the projects. We want to scale much beyond the 3 locations we own. I just drove across Route 66. I couldn't do it in my Ioniq 5. We drove a Dodge Journey. It worked. So we have to build the infrastructure. Thank you so much. So just going over the phases of our business as a charge port operator, and you guys have seen charge port operators kind of reiterate. You have EVI Go, Tesla. If you drive electric, and I saw you have the Lyric, so you might have used a public charger before. So you've been to the different networks that are out there. We are building our own network. It today spans from across Canada down to Mexico, even Japan. And here in California, we're selectively now buying, owning, and operating the land. And we're sharing this opportunity with our shareholders. Instead of working with the banks and doing it the old way, we decided to work with people, and I'd rather pay you guys back a dividends than paying Bank of America plus interest. This is one of our sites in Toronto, AC, multifamily charging site. This is when they purchased the hardware from us, and we service this property. Public, we have private and public charging stations here. So let's go into the technology. So I touched on this earlier over conversation as we were just warming up. But we built the IP that powers the whole thing. And as we were developing it, our team is very cool. I love my team. We have many different generations. So we have Aaron in his 20s. I'm turning 40 this year, so I'm in my 30s. Todd's 40s, and you guys know Daniel. He's traveling, but he's in his 50s. So we have a whole kind of generational spec of people who are going to be using this. And during the whole, and we talk to drivers, I speak to people, and it's basically, again, we want to make it as easy as possible to capture the charge session, less friction as possible. So no going to the app store and download this thing and put up a wallet, and 12 minutes later, you just scan, Google sign in, add your payment, you scan start. You plug it in, tap a card, plug in charge. Easy. That's what we want. Because people just want to, a lot of people don't even care about your app. That's what they tell us to my face. So it's fine. It's fine. Tell me, it's good. It's fine. It's good. So, and then we also built the back office, which is where the magic happens. This took a lot of time to develop. So it's built on the Open Charge Point Protocol 1.6J. It means that's a language that the EV charging stations use to communicate with our cloud. We also have the code for a new language set, OCPP 2.0. But a lot of the hardware manufacturers that we're using, you don't really need it yet. Doesn't really make a difference. For us, what we're doing is we're basically running a gas station that's electric, and all we need to do is make it easier for people to pay us for what they're doing, and while they're hanging out, they're gonna eat ads as they charge their car, because that's another revenue stack for us. But yeah, the CMS, we set pricing, add locations to our map. If you're an independent and you're working with us to help us grow our network, we keep 8% of all the charge sessions for EV Initiative, our software company. All the sessions that happen, we keep 8%. Stripe also keeps their piece. It's 2.9% plus 30 cents to the session. But for our piece, and then if you sell for us as an independent, our 8%, we share 2% with you. So if you deploy a plug and it's used, you did something I couldn't do because I was busy doing something else, now you also get a passive income flow from the usage of your work, value creation. And the people are gonna be so happy because they're charging their cars. So yeah, and all this is always evolving, always getting better. We do coupons, rewards, all kind of good stuff we can push to the people. We RFID managed, we can create user groups. So we can do memberships for these. I'm speaking to a lot of Lyft and Uber drivers. These are the people who use the public stations a lot. They have memberships that they pay, so we can create a user group for them and then give them a different discount or price that they can pay. So we can create so these are different ways to monetize the network. One of the things we're doing with Mission, as you guys own it, right? We have to pay you back, right? Not the banks, right? So this is one of the ways we have to revenue stack as much as possible. Everything's connected to our bank through Stripe. So as a driver, everybody uses Stripe, whether you know it or not. Uber, anytime you use Uber, you use Stripe. So that's where the magic happens in the background. They're a payment processor. And then driver gets an automated receipt. In their app, they can see their usage history. They can view the invoice if they want, anytime. Everything's accounted for. It's all automated, so we can scale. Because we're scaling right now. And this is why we're getting you guys involved, because we're scaling beyond 3 locations. We're gonna do a lot more, but first we need to deliver Mission. And we're working with you guys. Ooh, Mission. Nice. This is why we picked Mission. So LA County, high EV adoption. So new EV registrants, we're talking about 273,383 new registrants in the county. So these are people who live in and go by Mission Hills. And the vast majority of these cars are electric, like vast majority. So the people have spoken, the earlier graphs have spoken, people are buying electric cars, especially here in LA. So that's the move. What we're doing is we have over 600,000 vehicles per day passing within 2 miles. Very nice. Over 500,000 of these vehicles are from the freeways, the 5, the 405, and the 118. The 405 exit, the flow of that traffic, it just comes right onto our property. If you get a chance, please visit the site. We have a tenant there right now. It's fine, but we're building. We're planning. We're in the planning phases. So right now we're still working with the engineering. We got surveying happening, like it's being built, so they can stay there for now, but they'll move soon. But yeah, so take a look at the property, and if you get a chance, if you are driving on the 405, you'll really understand what I'm talking about. It doesn't matter. There's like a few other exits that are right around the corner. You just pull off the highway you're in. And if you saw the flow, it's like it's a one-way, so we're trying to have a nice flow, right? In and out. Here's the traffic counts. So before we purchased the property, we did a lot of math, not our math. We work with third-party data scientists. Their roles in this industry, in the EV charging industry, is to basically pre-predict the future utilization of EV charging locations. We've worked with 3 of them to get a prediction of what the site's going to do. And then we said, okay, high utilization. We understand the market. We pull trigger, and we bought the land. But then it was a decision we made later on to do it like this, because we also purchased another plot of land nearby, and then the property in Acton, which is 9 acres. So we did math, bought the land, and then 1 out of 3, we're doing it like this. So we can scale beyond 3, right? So we're doing the math, right? So for 600,000 vehicles per day within 2 miles, this is how I'm thinking about this, like 600,000. I already understand that, okay, if 10%, and it's probably more, but let's say 10% of the 600,000 vehicles are electric cars. And it's just 1% of those EVs come in for a 20-minute charge session or less, 30 charge sessions per day per charger, per plug. I can kind of predict that, I hope. Probably more, I'm assuming where it's located in the math we've done. But again, we're trying to predict the future. We've bought a strategically located land. It's not somebody else's property saying, hey, I've got this nice property. This is like, okay, we did the math, we bought this, so this is what we're predicting. Especially when we compare it against the others in the area, like Tesla. Like, okay, so this charger right here, all these are DC chargers. This is PlugShare. PlugShare is an aggregator. If you guys drive EV, you might use it. See what's happening out there before you do a road trip. So over here we've got, where's my mouse? Yeah. Over here we have a dealership. Across the street, there's a Nissan dealership with 30 kilowatts. It's slow, faster. No one's going off the highway to plug in at a dealership for 3 hours. Okay, so Tesla has 12. Tesla's also investing more in a different neighborhood, but Tesla is making investments. We have another one which is kind of far away. They're another newer independent charge port operator. Really, there's not much happening in Mission Hills. We're the only ones in Mission Hills doing this. So we're the only stop. And we're looking at the highway with all this traffic flow. We have, the 5 is 1 mile away. So it's like a 5-10 minute drive to get from off the 5 and get back on that 5 and keep going. So yeah, so that's why we purchased this land. We're the only ones basically in the area. And also across the street, we have a gas station. So they've done the math too, before they built the gas station years ago. So yeah. We can talk about Tesla because they're a successful charge port operator. They're what I want to be. This guy sends cars to outer space. Who else does that, right? you know who does that, right? So Tesla in 2022, they had 4,678 stations on their network, and this is old numbers. So they've been pumping more locations. So the network's larger today. This is back then though. On average, they're used 320 times a week. So 46 times a day. That's Tesla. They make the cars. So it's their network. They're a really great ecosystem. So let's say the fee to use the charge session on average for the network, and this is not, let's say, this is 48 cents a kilowatt of charging. Fast charging, so they're plugging into a fast charger, and the average cost of power is 25 cents a kilowatt. And that, let's say on average, a 50 kilowatt charge is based off the batteries, the battery sizes. Not everybody has a huge Cadillac Lyric battery. A lot of these EVs are like around 70, right? 70 kilowatts, right? 50 to 70. So anyways, but yeah, revenue per charge session, and this is Tesla, right? $24 less electricity, which is $12.50, meaning they're pulling $11.50 per charge session. 47.9% profit margin on the electricity every time someone leaves. So they play, and people are always, these things are slammed here in LA. Every hub I've gone to, they're all just lineups, right? So that's what the scenario we're looking at. But we're not Tesla, so for our little estimate, we said, okay, 30. We're looking at 30 charge sessions a day for us. I don't make cars yet. But yeah, so for us, we're looking at with 30 charge sessions, $345 a day or $125,000, $580 per year per charger by accommodating these 30 charge sessions per day. And yeah, because we're not Tesla, that's why we use 30, not 46. They do probably more. They have a whole thing going on. But again, we're just talking about Mission Hills specifically. And as you guys buy into Mission Hills, you will own Mission Hills. The idea with this as well, again, is you own this property. So when we do the next one, we raise again, you're not going to be diluted. Your investment won't be diluted. You own it. It's a new thing, a new entity that gets started up, a new company, and we can work with you to develop and build out the new ones. So I'll work with you, pay you guys back the dividend instead of the bank. It's better. I like it better. It's our concept.
Yeah, so as Warren is talking about the margin on electricity, so it's very important that we buy energy from the grid at the off-peak hours at the lowest possible rate. This is why we are going to have megawatts of battery storage on site, which will be tied to a solar system as well to kind of help offset that a little bit. To be 100% honest, the solar won't produce a whole lot of power, but it will help us enough. Yeah. So as Warren already mentioned, the price to the driver is about 49 cents. So this is our initial listing price, 49 cents. What we did is we looked on PlugShare, found similar chargers that have the similar output power as to ours, around that 350 kilowatt range, and we matched it. and went a little bit lower. And what we might even do for the first 3 months when we first deploy the site is even drop that rate way down, get a whole bunch of drivers to site, be aware it's there, dedicated users, and then we'll eventually scale the pricing back up. So that being said, it's very important that we do have the microgrid on site, the solar, the battery, buying power cheap as possible. This allows us to make our 47.9 profit margin on electricity, and then allowing us to pay our investors back a projected 20 to 27% ROI on the investment.
O&M, okay, yeah, O&M. So after the site's deployed, and you actually asked a question about on the energy storage and microgrid, right? It's about the grid side, right? So as we're developing, so now we've gone from, you invested initially on the concept image on the internet, on the insurance page. Now we're getting to engineering, and engineering is now we have to build this concept into life. So what we're planning to do, so LADWP, the utility is only going to give us so much power, and we're making up the bulk with batteries, basically. So we get the batteries, so we charge off-peak, and then we're charging a delta, right, at 49 cents. And we also have the solar on top. Hoping it'll be 300 kilowatt hours or more on this canopy that we're building. That will feed the battery, so we get free electricity from the sun all day. It's so sunny here, different from Toronto. It's so sunny all day, and we get free electricity. Throw into the battery, and now that's from free to 49. So the number will be bigger, and then to make sure the site's online. So every charging station at our location is connected to a CMS, so I know in real time if anything's wrong, and we're always watching, paying attention. We have high resolution security cameras throughout the site, so we know who's coming in and who's leaving all the time. I want it to be a safe environment for mom to charge. I understand where it's located. We have LAPDs, are almost next door neighbors. We're also I'm thinking about giving them an RFID, like some type of Mission Hills LADWP RFID group card, and give them some type of benefit so they kind of look out for the location. But high resolution security cameras all throughout the property. We're going to be maintaining the location, so yeah, property maintenance, so power washing, garbage collection, regular hardware maintenance. We're going to keep extra cables and plugs on site or nearby, so just in case anything goes wrong. Our interest is to keep the site online, so we have a 30% ownership stake in this, right? So our best interest as the operator, our role is to make the site work, make sure it's profitable. We also make sure the solar panels are cleaned,
Question, when you say online, so that means we lose power, you'll go offline, you won't be able to charge the vehicles?
Yes, it will.
What's the,
Oh, and I say online as in servicing the public. That's what I mean. But when you're talking about power outages on the utility side, I'll still have, as long as we have capacity in these batteries, we can still service vehicles and keep the lights on. I don't know how long the blackout will be. Lights will, power is reconnected, and then we can continue refilling the battery. Plus, we have the solar on top, so if it's daytime, so.
Yeah, a lot of people in the industry say online because they're connected to the internet, and I guess that's why.
Online, we're online, it's working, yeah. More question.
Real quick, I noticed in the video you had the restaurants and stuff like that. Do you have bathrooms? What other amenities do you have?
Yeah. Okay. So I'll show the video again. So Mission Hills. So it's not just EV chargers are primary. We have advertising screens, digital advertising screens at every electrified spot. So you pull in to charge your car, add time. We are going to have an automated snack stop. So this video depends on the cost of everything. So this is our mission. This is what we're going to continue to build out, right? With the Vegas style lights. So that's what gives me an opportunity to communicate with the public, to say, hey, here's the price of power. Here's an ad from Fenty. That's the opportunity with the signage up top. I'm not sure if code's going to let us build that in Mission Hills, but there's many other locations we're looking at building our network out. So this is what we're planning to build and continue to deliver, but as we work things out through engineering and permitting, and it's a process, trust me.
And are you actually trying to get robotic arms?
Yeah.
We're thinking about it, yeah. It's cool, right? If not that, vending machines, it's automated, right? Right, so, but it depends on what makes sense and what makes sense for the ongoing operations. And does this make sense for Mission Hills? Maybe, maybe not, but maybe it does. We're gonna, right? Yes, please.
What will Mission Hills be open?
Q4 2020, next year. So we're on process, we're on track. And yeah, so excited to service the pub.
Quick question, 24/7 open?
Absolutely, 365 all day, and it's a great. So we have the security cameras. It's all connected to CMS. We're going to do our team's going to do walkthroughs a couple times a day, make sure everything's good. But it's quite passive. As long as the batteries are, as long as there's electricity flow, you're servicing people all day. When have you ever gone to a Tesla station and seen? I've only seen actually just one stop. I actually went to there a couple of days. It was a really nice location. They had people there, but mostly there's never anybody in that lot. It's just you and the charging stations, and you're on the phone, right. So we'll be around managing the site because we're thinking about uptime, thinking about satisfaction. You're coming off the highway. You might be on a road trip. Who knows where you're driving from? I just drove from Canada, right? So if you want to come in, relax a little bit. We want to make sure you feel safe. It's a quick session. And hopefully you come back.
What's the turnaround time from first dig to operational turnkey?
So from time we break ground to having it online, right? So it should take about 4 to 5 months of construction.
4 to 5 months construction?
For the whole thing, say, 4 to 5 months.
So right now we're on track for Q4 2025. If anything changes, we're obviously going to update the entire community, but that's our goal, is to have it online Q4 2025, and we want to, yeah.
So if you think about it, it's an electrified parking lot. So deploying EV chargers, and I've done these before, you're doing trenching. This is different because of brownfield site, so we're building from scratch. But usually, the guys are bringing in power, you do your trenching, and again, we're doing a canopy, so it's a little bit different. So the bottom is electrified parking lot, and think of the top like a gas station canopy. That looks pretty.
So it's like an electric gas station?
It is an electric gas station, and you also own the land. So it's the land and the infrastructure on the land, and then we operate it for you and push the dividends to everybody who invested. Right. So so you get a passive income stream twice a year.
With the convenience included on the site,
Yeah.
are we trying to keep employees off the site?
Yeah.
Are we going
Correct.
Yeah, we're trying to, there may be one, if that, but our goal is to run this company as lean as possible and pay our shareholders back a dividend, right?
Yeah, no employees, most likely. Maybe subs, potentially, right?
All the investors do volunteer around.
Exactly.
Sorry?
Investor volunteers.
All the investors do volunteer around.
Yeah.
It's true, yeah, you guys own the place, yeah, exactly. You're welcome to show up, right?
Yeah, I know there's definitely incentive with that, the college grade, high school grade, I'll be into it.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, interesting. But yeah, so yeah, this is the opportunity that we are bringing to our team here. And again, everything's going to be maintained. Basically, it's going to run, and our role is to make as much money as possible off this property, for as long as forever, right? So we're charging cars all day. Make sure these things are online, working. Everybody's happy, safe, great. You're good, perfect. Ads, you don't like the ads, that doesn't matter. You're going to eat them because it's part of the whole thing. And we're going to be, that's part of the business as well, is the ad revenue that we're delivering to consumers. And as we grow our networks to many other locations, our ad network, have you heard of other companies in our industry, like one called Volta? A very interesting case study. Volta built a charging network at malls all over the place. Their big advertising screen with 2 dumb chargers, level 2 dumb, like say dumb as in they're non-network, so plug in, you get free electricity. So they're saying, hey, we're giving the people free electricity, but it's basically advertising, right? So they're building an advertising network, and Shell bought them for, I think it was like $270 million. Okay, all right. So we're building locations out, we're serving ads, so we're charging revenue, ad revenue. There's a thing called, if you're not sure, called low carbon fuel credits. Another reason why we selected the state of California and not out of state. In the West, I've noticed it's all in the West. California, Oregon, Washington, Vancouver have low carbon fuel credits. It's a carbon credit, but more money. So a carbon credit's like $5, $10. Another like Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia. Over here it's $185 to $200. So we're offsetting carbon by charging a car. We're not using gas. So there's a low carbon fuel credit. I didn't make the system. I'm just going to use it. And that's what there's here. So that's why we selected this site. So there's another revenue stack on that. This one is to be explored because it's new to me. I've been speaking to since 2020, there's a bank, probably the first group in America called Connecticut Green Bank. They're the first to do green loans, and they created this whole low carbon fuel credit system thing. It's kind of complicated, but it's not. Basically, we just track data and we submit the data to them, and then they do stuff, they take a cut, and then they give us back money. But you have to charge your cars first for a certain amount of time. And I think the program may end in 2030. It could be extended to 2035, but it's a really heavy revenue stack for this opportunity. I don't want to, you guys can do your own research on that and go down the rabbit hole, because I don't want to get it too juicy, but it's like, it's a lot of money. Yeah, low carbon fuel credits, and what else is there? Retail, plus the retail. So we have the retail, whether it's going to be our automated snack stop or the cafe like you see inside there. There could be some type of retail element involved in this operation. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess now we'll open up for discussion, answer any questions you guys have.
If there's any more questions, please.
Shareholders pay out twice a year by transfer. What is that, 3% investment?
Yeah, so biannual, so every 6 months you'll get a payout, and then all Warren is stating here with Colonial Stock Transfer, this is a company that issues everyone their shares, and then they'll push the dividend. So the money would go into escrow, and then they would pay out all of our shareholders. So before you guys receive the dividend, you'll probably get an email asking to give your ACH details, and it'll be direct deposit. So a lot of investors who've already invested via ACH, we have that information. If you use like a wire transfer or a credit card, then we're gonna have to follow up, get that information, and then all automatic payouts. Yeah.
Question about the ads. Do you guys have any kind of like contracts already with ads, or are you guys still waiting on that? Or?
We're gonna wait on that. The way I see it happening is, obviously we have to grow a network a little bit bigger before we get big ad deals or partners, so to speak. But like when we launch our retail store, we may be able to advertise like products being sold in the store, etc. So in terms of the revenue stack, I think at least initially advertising will be at the bottom, but as we grow a network, advertising could actually be at the top, probably one step below actually charging vehicles, right? Yeah.
That's why it was really important as part of this opportunity. It's not just charging cars, at least for us. You know, it's a business.
So another question. The way we get, are we involved in the ad making? And
Todd,
do we get
check the
money
door.
back from all of it completely, or is it just from the charging aspect of it?
No, it's the whole thing. This is the startup. So EV Initiative Infrastructure, or EVII Mission Hills Inc. It's a California C Corp. It's a separate entity from EV Initiative Inc., our software company, which is going to power the operation. Separate entity from EV Initiative Infrastructure, which is our development company, which develops and delivers the project. It's going to live on its own. It's its own little new baby, and you guys own all that. So everything that's the land, as well as the charging revenue, the LCFC revenue, the ad revenue, everything we can generate from that, because that's part, we get 30%, we have 30% ownership of it, so we pay ourselves twice a year. Everybody gets paid twice a year on the operation. Right.
So bonus offer 20% if you invest before, is that okay?
Yeah.
So since I'm an investor already, I get an additional 20%.
Yeah, so I think a few of you guys are already investors. If you invested when we first launched, you would have received the 20%. If you invest today on the online portal, it's only at 5%. But we're going to extend the 20% for this group of people for taking your time on a Saturday to come listen to our speech. But you do have to just let us know, because the portal won't apply that automatically. So if you do make the investment, let us know, and we'll have to manually adjust the share percentage.
Hey.
Hi.
Pleasure.
Well, then, so I'm an investor already.
Yeah.
Do I get 40%, or do I have to go into the portal and do something?
Yeah. Well, call me. We'll talk after. We'll figure it out. If you came in early, you would have got it. Maybe you came in at the 10 or the 15, but we'll go through it.
Yeah, I came in a few weeks ago.
Oh, okay, probably around 10 or 5. We'll chat. Let's chat after. You gotta go now? That's okay. Yeah. Okay, perfect.
Perfect time, you guys, because we're just talking about getting a stock bonus if you invest today. Yeah, this is perfect, actually. I'm glad. Yeah. All right, so right now, if you're going online on issuance, we're at 5%, if even. I'm not even paying attention right now, and someone told us 5% a couple days ago. So if you're doing it today because you came here, you drove all the way here. I'm not even sure how far you guys drove. Thank you so much. We give an extra 20, 2 hours?
Wow.
Okay, so, right, so an extra 20%. We have to do it manually though. So that's why you have to let us know, and then we'll make sure you get an extra 20% shares on top of, right now it's at $1.86. So another thing to consider as we do all these projects. So I was kind of mentioning, EVI Initiative Infrastructure, Mission Hills, the property which if you guys already invested, you now own that land. We're talking about the revenue stack it's going to make. It's going to be owned by you, and you're going to get the benefit of it as long as it's in operation. Are there any other questions? Yeah. 15555.
So that's 4 5s, right? One.
15555.
It's a lot of
55.
Yeah, 15.
San Fernando.
Mission Boulevard.
You said it's 4 5s?
15555.
Yeah.
Is it 3 5s or 4 5s?
4.
4 5s. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
this
any
was
other questions, you guys can ask myself or Warren. If you guys want to chat after the fact, come up to me, give me your number. We can keep the conversation going. Yeah.
You guys have any questions? You guys drove far too. I'm so curious.
How close are you guys to your goals?
We're on track. We get about probably 100 new investors a day through the crowdfund. We also have so the way the fundraising set up is there's the Reg CF, which is the crowdfund, which allows non-accredited investors to get involved. And then we have the Reg D. So we're also in talks with some bigger companies looking to make larger investments on the Reg D side, which will really actually help this go a lot quicker. Yeah, so we're on track.
Actually, so ownership. So EVI Initiative is retaining 30% ownership of Mission Hills. 27% has been allotted for crowdfund. So this is very unique. You may own Tesla stock, maybe, right? Yeah, right? So Tesla's got charging division, they have battery division, they got their cars, they got AI. You can't buy into a high revenue generating location and own it with Tesla. And no one's done this before, but we're doing this today. So if you've already invested, you own it, so you're already in, you come in for more. But Reg D, we've allotted 43% ownership. 43, 47, 47%. We're checking the address, right? So, so it represents 43% ownership, and we keep 30%. And also with Reg CF, it's a great marketing opportunity. So I am not Elon Musk. Who is this guy, right? Who's this guy? Some guy on TikTok. But by giving people the opportunity to buy into the movement, the initiative, it gives them ownership and gives them the ability to follow along. I hope we have a merch store. Maybe they'll buy some, like we have tank tops, t-shirts, right? So if they believe in this, they'll buy the hat maybe, they'll tell their friends about it. The opportunity is only going to be there for so long, and then it's gone. This is limited time, exclusively owned by the people who believed in and got involved. Yeah, everybody else is going to stop in the train.
Yeah, and then just to add to that, like we are mass marketing this now. This is actually the first time we're doing this in person because a lot of people had requested it. So we're testing this out, and we'll probably do another one soon in maybe like a month or two at a bigger scale. But we want to get to know a lot of you guys one-on-one, right? A lot of investors want to be silent where here's my money, like let me know when the dividends happens. We talk to a lot of investors who want to invest, and then just like yourself, they want to kind of go do their own thing, sell level twos. So we want to, meet you, help you guys do that. And then more importantly, if there's anyone who wants to play like a bigger role within the business, larger investor, et cetera, we just want the opportunity to meet you guys and see how you guys can be a part of our team for the long term. So we're doing this to build kind of a tight-knit group of investors to go and deploy, future sites. So again, yep.
Technically, it would be a buy cycle because with my personal outlook, it would be to look into a deeper investment with the company.
Yeah.
So just to have that aspect there.
Yeah. So anyone who wants to have like a one-on-one conversation after this, I'm happy to do so. Just to let me know. We can exchange numbers. I probably have your number already, but just make mental note. And we can set up a web call. You guys are all somewhat in the area. We're happy to meet one-on-one in person again too, if you guys are interested. So yeah, we can leave it at that. Any other questions, we can answer it. I know you guys, we took a lot of your time, so we appreciate that on a Saturday afternoon. Thank you guys. Feel free to get more drinks, sandwiches.
We have snacks and lunches.
The guys that came
Yeah, you missed
Yeah,
so
let's-
much.
let's
you know?
chat. We'll chat.
Oh man. Yeah, that was a long drive. I know the traffic can be crazy out here. you know.
Where did you guys come from? Where? Nice.
San Martino.
Okay. Yeah. Let's.
Yeah. Okay.